Hi, Bryan McWhorter here with Black Belt Lean Thinking. Today we're going to talk about 5S Plus One, probably one of the most popular lean tools. There's a lot out there on 5S Plus One, and there's a reason for its popularity. It is an enabler, and often the first of the lean tools that will be deployed at the beginning of the lean journey. Hey, 5S Plus One, like I said, it's an enabler, but it's funny how often I will see it implemented without people truly understanding its purpose. In fact, I've gone to factories where it's been established and still they didn't understand the purpose. Now, where that creates a problem is, as humans, we tend not to get behind things we don't understand. If I don't see the benefit to what's in it for me, our favorite radio station, WIFM, then I don't see the benefit. I'm going to do it half-heartedly, and it's probably going to be more of a pain than a good thing. And usually when it comes to 5S Plus One, people view it as something really good or really bad. And usually that difference is the impact that it has on them. Again, is it something good? Is it serving a purpose? So what is the purpose of 5S Plus One? Simply to surface problems. That is the whole reason for doing 5S Plus One. But it is that enabler. You're probably not going to be able to implement total productive maintenance or Kanban or any of the other tools until you first implement 5S Plus One. Now I'll give you some tips on it. When implementing 5S Plus One or any initiative, you have one of two ways you can go, one of two main strategies. You can go a mile wide and an inch deep. In other words, let's do the whole factory, but because that's such a wide area and such a big battlefront that it's probably going to be very difficult to do. Or you can go an inch wide and a mile deep. Pick one department, one room, one area, and implement it. One of the first 5 sites that I saw us do this in, we did that. We picked one department, one room, and implemented 5S. The rest of the factory saw that and really saw the difference in that work environment. Again, unless you're paid by level of frustration, 5S Plus One should make your life easier. Again, surfacing problems, just because you don't know a problem exists doesn't mean it's not causing you trouble and frustration. Again, I'd love to know how much time I waste throughout the course of my life. Maybe I wouldn't like to know. How much time I waste looking for car keys, my wallet, TV remotes, items that should be in a place where I can find them immediately. Okay, I've got a couple examples. One whiteboard behind me. Let's say you work with me here at Black Belt Lean Thinking and you were leaving out of town, but you call me and say, hey Brian, we had an important message for you, and I wrote it on the whiteboard in the training room. Oh boy. I think I have one of the notes I have actually up here is a clean whiteboard. Okay, let's do that real quick. Oh, much better. Now remember, the purpose of 5S is simply to surface problems. Now if someone were to write a message on there, it would be easily seen. It's the only thing on there. Give you a real life example. I remember one department had a workbench that was used quite a bit by the mechanics in that area, and it always had stuff on it. Tools, assemblies, gearboxes. They removed a gearbox and put it on there. When do you think they would find out that that gearbox didn't get sent off or replaced? When they need a new one. So say a couple of months down the road, gearbox now on the line is shelled out. They go to get a new one. Well, that one was never taken to the fixture room. It was never sent off to be replaced or rebuilt. So they have a problem. Now you take a different department where the workbench was always clean. At the start of the shift, people come in. If there's a gearbox there, where'd that come from? We need to reorder or get it to the fixture room. And when people come to work, they should have 3 things right off the bat in their favor. They should come to a work area that's clean, 5S, and safe. They should have all they need to do their job, all the supplies, the tools, the information. They shouldn't have to go running for that stuff right at the beginning of the shift. And they should have a process under control. They shouldn't have to slay dragons or do firefighting right at the beginning. Now I know that won't always be the case, but that should be the norm. Again, there will be bad days. We know that. Life's not perfect. But that should be the norm. When they have those 3 things in place, again, clean, safe, all they need to do their job, and the process in control, now they can drive continuous improvement. They're in control. They're running the process. If not, the process is probably running them, and again, the frustration level goes up and the morale goes down. In the 5S, the benefit of that is it surfaces problems and it makes their life easier. Another example. Let's say I go visit your house and you have a beautiful home. I step on your white carpet and leave a mark. You notice it immediately. You have a nice coffee table. I set my coffee cup there and leave a ring rather than putting it on the coaster? Can you notice it immediately? Brian, you're messing up my house. You come to my house and I'm a slob. You walk in the door and you're trying to find a place to sit down where you're not going to stick to something. You can move all you want. I would never notice it. Again, you set the bar. You set the level that you want. And again, the team should be involved with that, and it should be something that makes their life better, makes it easier. Okay, let's walk through the steps of 5S Plus 1. I've done literally hundreds of 5S Plus 1 events, and the implementation is very simple, but the main part is making sure that everybody understands what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay, that first step, first of the 5S, in English, we're going to go with sort. We won't go with the Japanese terms because I don't know. Sort is usually the first thing. So you're in an area, typically you'll come up with, say, 3 different tags, red, green, and yellow, or you're going to have 3 different areas. Again, red, yellow, and green area. Red is for everything that does not belong in the area. You're going to get rid of it. Throw it away or ship it out. Again, get management's approval first. There's usually value and money tied to that stuff. But you're going to red tag the things that are going to go away. Yellow, you're not sure about. You need to ask team members. See if it needs to stay. And green are the things that you definitely know need to stay in the area. So once you have it all sorted out, we go to number 2, and that's shine. Okay, now we're going to clean it. We're going to make it like new. I mentioned that area, we picked one department and we implemented 5S. We did all this, and the other departments saw it. Our machine shop, who had not gone through lean training yet, saw that other department and really liked what they saw. So they started implementing 5S on their own. They sorted everything out. They painted all the walls. They painted all the equipment. They even redid the floor. And that went from looking like an old dirty garage to pretty much like a surgical center. So much better environment to work in, and they were so proud of it. Again, once you've sorted it out, get it like new. Paint it, clean it, wash it. Get it to where you're raising that bar and it looks like a new environment. Okay, third step. Now you're going to bring things back. So you're going to set. Set to order. And where is the proper placement of the items that you know need to stay in that area? Put the tools and the supplies as close to the point of use as possible. You can keep them in that value field. You don't want people leaving the work area often to get things that they need right there where they're doing the work. This is where shadow boards and inserts and tool drawers are so good. Again, if the idea is if that tool is missing off that shadow board, if there's an outline of a hammer and it's gone, you notice it immediately. Remember, the purpose of 5S is to surface problems. You want your environment raising its hand and letting you know there's a problem. And those shadow boards are fantastic for that. Again, we've had teams with big areas where they put up shadow boards and color-coded them. One area was so big they put up 3 different shadow boards, and I think they were like red, yellow, and blue. And for all the tools that go on the blue board, they put blue tape on the hammers, the wrenches. So again, it made a real good win for them. They were no longer hunting for tools, and it was really good. So again, determine where's the proper placement where people will notice if something is missing and it'll get back immediately. Okay, 4, standardize. You don't want different areas set up differently. Again, the brain is a pattern-seeking mechanism. We like to connect the dots. If you go with color coding, keep it the same in all areas. Try and make things as universal as possible. Give you an idea on one of our large facilities where we went with color coding for borders. Okay, any outgoing material had a green border around it. Incoming material had a blue. So even in an area you didn't know, if you walked in and saw a box with a green line around it, you knew it was something that was going to be leaving that area. Trash or something that's shipping out. If you saw it was in a blue border, you knew it was a supply or tools or something that was going to be used in that area. So again, standardize. Make sure it's the same everywhere. You don't want your brain trying to decipher different systems. Okay, that 5th one, probably the toughest, is sustain. Okay, for that one, that first thing I mentioned, understanding that purpose. People have to have a reason to want to sustain it. You know, they've got to see the benefit for it. And once you've done all that, your sustainment plan, you need loops, walkthroughs, audits, where different people at different levels are looking at your system and making sure that it's not broken, it's in place. So you want management doing walkthroughs. Again, what they look at is viewed as important. So once a week, once a month, management should look at the 5S. The best is having each shift, it could even be a whiteboard, but a check sheet, where during that shift they are looking at that bench, like I talked about earlier, make sure it's clean, trash is emptied, shadow boards have their tools in place. Once they're done, they can check it off and then wipe it clean, and it's ready for the next shift. Again, they've got to see the benefit. There's got to be a reason for that sustainment. The last one, the plus one, is that typically safety. And again, I see different orders. I'll tell you what we did. Rather than go with 5S plus 1 and have safety down there, we went with 6S. And our safety we implemented in the sort phase. Because doesn't that make sense? So when you're sorting out, that's when you see those unsafe conditions. If something needs a guard or a railing or there are trip hazards, that's when you address them. Again, right up there at the very beginning. The safety is important. I remember one audit system I saw, there's 40 points of doing a lean audit in different facilities. And for those 40 points, one of them was called, one of the points was, do they have a safety first culture? It was number 27. So we moved it where it should be, number 1. So again, safety is very important. So we went with just 6S, doesn't matter what you call it, but people have to understand the benefit. And remember when I mentioned that when people come to work, they should have a safe, clean work environment. So elevate safety where it needs to be. It should be one of the first things. You know, I saw a lot of success with 5S plus 1. I even heard stories of when people implemented it at work and they enjoyed the better environment, they did the same thing at home. So I heard stories of people doing 5S plus 1 in their garage, in their kitchen, and having to train their spouse so they understood the concept and what they were doing. That's when you know it's taken off and it's people see the benefit in it. Again, if you have questions, you can put comments on my website, Black Belt Lean Thinking, and I will get to you as soon as possible. Again, 5S plus 1, there's lots of good information out there on the net. Make sure that if you implement it or when you implement it, your team understands the purpose. And remember, this is not just for manufacturing. That's where I'd love to remove the lean manufacturing and just go with continuous improvement. Restaurants, hospitals, you know, dealing with people in the hospital, a lot more important than a factory environment. So again, everyone can benefit from it. Thank you.